To create your seating charts in WooEdu, you can simply go to your main menu and you can click on instruction and go down to seating charts, or you certainly could search up the tool in the search box here. So click on seating charts to get your visual representation of what your classes look like. So since we don't have any, we're going to click on new. All of the classes that you teach will be listed in the chart. Just scroll through. Okay. To start your first seating chart, click on the course number that you would like to set up. So this will be the first one, and since it's in red, you have to name the course. So this will be Period 4 Foundations. You can design the setup of your classroom currently, and these can be adjusted later on if you need be. So we're going to say that there are 6 columns in the classroom setup, and there are 6 rows to accommodate about 36 students. Horizontal space, you have none, half desk or 1. So you can make it a little bit shorter to condense your seating chart if you want to. I typically use the half desk. In your vertical spacing, about a half desk away from each other. You can also choose none, and that's fine too. It's up to you. And how do you want to place students? You have the options of choosing A to Z, Z to A, randomly, or do not place, meaning that I will place them myself. So if I click on, let's try random, I can create my chart. Notice here that the course name that I came up with is on the top, and it's also telling me how many students are here, how many are seated, how many are not seated, and the total amount of desks I have. If you would like to remove extra seating in your seating chart, you certainly can just by clicking on the X. It will go away. If you decide that you need a new desk, not a problem. You can just click at the top to all of the options. And I'm going to click on New Desk and put one back. If there are specific students that you want to move, you certainly can just by picking them up, dragging them, and dropping them, and they will be switched around with that person. So those students will be anchored in certain positions. You certainly can. Your seating chart workspace can be contracted to make it smaller or expanded at any time just by clicking the button to your desired space. So if I want to make this workspace a little bit smaller and stay within this perimeter, I certainly can. If I want to make it larger so that I can move some rows and some columns around, I certainly can do that as well. Okay. If you would like to make this seating chart the default seating chart for your main class, you want to click on Make Default, and it will ask you, are you sure you want to do that? You want to click OK. And now this is the default layout. When you're happy with it, of course, you have to press Save. If you decide you want to change the layout completely and you're not happy with what you have, you certainly click on Clear Students. It will not remove them from the course, just from the current seating chart you have. And all of your students will be put up at the top on the toolbar so that you can drag and drop them wherever you want. So notice the layout had stayed that way because that I made my default, and now I can drag and drop, say these particular students, I want to place them in the front row. I can drag and drop them. And now the rest of the students, I can click on place and I can say, well, I have no problem with doing the other students alphabetically. I can click on that and choose, and now it will place the rest of them for me if I want to do that. And again, just click on save. If you want to print them out, you can click on report options and decide which way you want your paper, portrait or landscape, and decide which criteria you want for your seating chart. So if you want pictures and nicknames, you certainly can, and then generate the report, and that's going to come up as a PDF. And of course, you can print that out, and this might be great for substitute purposes and so forth. If you click on Copy Layout, it will take you back to the main page to create a new seating chart. And you can copy it to an additional course. So go into your next section because you like that setup. And maybe this is your period 5. And you can decide how you want them to be placed and create the chart for this next group. Okay. If I have no additional changes or no movements around, of course, I can click Saved, and the Save button will pop up. You can create multiple seating charts for each course that you teach. For example, if you're working in small groups, you can make them into smaller things. So maybe this is, say, period 4, group 1, and then the project that you're going to do. This is your projects group. You can name as many as you want. You can adjust these, of course, your horizontal, your vertical, and do not place them. I'm going to do that myself, and I'm going to create my chart. Okay, so for this group, I'm only going to take the first 5 students. I can pick them up, drag them down. So this is my first working group. Okay, if I'm happy with this, I can click Save, and it's all done. I want to open a new chart. I'm just going to click on Open. If I choose a class and I have multiple groupings or seating charts, you'll see them here in the list. To use seating charts for your attendance, remember to go back into your account settings and make sure you select the box that says Use Seating Charts for Attendance and click on Save. And now let's look at what that looks like. You can always go back to the main menu and you can search from here. And I'm going to go back into the attendance report. I want to see what this looks like. So for first day of school on my period 4, I have this option here because I started the seating chart. So I can look at my attendance list, and we talked about that previously about entering that information, and this is what it looks like from the seating chart. So you can do present, absent, tardy, and add in your comments. And once you do for all of your students in that particular period, click Save, and then move on to your other periods.